Oh, hello. Anyone there? Anyone here? Anyone anywhere? We're going live. We are going. Oh, hey. Not here. Look at that. What's up, Rams fans? You guys enjoying the draft? Man, that was quick. I just went live like 5 seconds ago. Bunch of people jumped in. This is awesome. So thoughts, general thoughts, thumbs up. Excited to see. Yeah, man, Eugene, love those picks. What's up, Gurpreet, Rob, Brandon, Dennis, not here. Hey, not here. What's your real name? You know, with guys that have handles that are like not their names, I just call you not here. Jocelyn, what's up, Jocelyn? I think that David, I love the Rams too. Rick. Okay, not here is Rick with no K. I think the Rams have freaking nailed this draft so far. You know, I was a little freaked out about the pick in the running back. I thought that was like confirmation that Todd Gurley's knee was done. But after watching Les Snead and Sean McVay talk about why they took him or why they took a running back, and specifically Darrell Henderson, it made a lot of sense. Let's just get okay, so Dennis, so this is what I'm talking about. So like they basically broke it down. And if you get a chance after you're done watching this live stream, go to therams.com, their website, and go through their videos of like the press conferences, and like Miles Simmons is interviewing the coaches like after the picks. You see the phone calls to the players. So you get all this crazy behind the scenes stuff. But essentially they're like, he's a different running back than Todd Gurley and Malcolm Brown. And as like a team, and as like the Rams evolve, and like add wrinkles into their like offense every year, this is just a different style or a different element for their offense. And they mentioned the name James White, that they want to kind of have that James White element that New England does, like a guy who catches the ball out of the backfield, a guy who can like just split out and like line up in the slot or out wide and give different looks. He's fast. He's got home run hitting speed. You know, I think there is definitely they're erring on the side of caution for Todd Gurley's knee. But you have Todd Gurley and you have Malcolm Brown. And I really like Malcolm Brown, but he's more of a between the tackles guy. So I feel like they're just like, let's just add a top running back to the team. Let's just get more weapons. The Rams, I feel like you can just never have too many weapons. Look at the Patriots running backs. They had Sony Michel. They have James White, Rex Burkhead, and I'm missing someone else. But it's like they had 4 running backs. Hey, Rick. It's all good. Like, honestly, when you see this guy play, if you watch it, like the highlights of his, like he's dynamic, and I don't think Todd Gurley his knee is jacked up. I think he still has a lot of good years, or a couple good years. But, yeah, Chris Thompson, Redskin situation scheme. Exactly, Eugene. Like, he's just a different – like, look at Kamara and Ingram. You know, like no one thought, oh, Kamara or Mark Ingram's knee is terrible or messed up. They just were like, let's just have 2 guys that are totally different players to kind of like have that change of pace back. And they mentioned back to Lance Dunbar when the Rams signed Lance Dunbar 2 years ago, but he injured his knee and he was never right and really never played. So they've wanted a player like that since McVay's been here. And so they kind of have that player now. Let's see. Yeah, and when you say new running back, Dennis, are you talking about John Kelly or Darrell Henderson? I don't know. I'm not sure if Henderson is a good pass blocker, but he has speed. He totally does. Go Rams. What's up, Sharif? Less workload on Gurley. Totally. Like Gurley can have 40 fewer carries this season, and that's still great. You know, like if he has 3-4 fewer carries per game, that all adds up and keep him fresh. Two-headed monster, totally. Two-headed monster, and just more like the defenses have to think about other things going on instead of just the like, okay, Todd Gurley's back there, he can do everything, but now this other guy's there, and maybe you have Todd Gurley and Henderson in the backfield together. One splits out wide. I mean, like, you can do a lot of stuff with that. Yeah, Greedy would have been nice, but I do like David Long. So what's up, Bug? Good to see you, man. Yeah, Long and Trap. So Long, Les Snead was talking about how he was enrolling his kid at Loyola High School, and he took his kid in there like for the first day, and or like at some point in time when they were relocating, maybe it was towards the end, and the principal brought in David Long and said, this guy is the best player on our football team, and he's going to Michigan. And so he introduced himself to David Long when David Long was still in high school, and he remembers the handshake David Long gave him. So, like, a lot of times you'll see, like, did they meet? And I'm always harping on, like, did they meet with these players, the college players, like, outside of, after the season and stuff? And sometimes that meeting goes, like, back 4 years in, like, a completely random, like, meeting. So these are, like, kind of, like, the little behind the scenes deals that, like, are always going on. And I picked up a nugget also when Aaron Cromer was being interviewed about Bobby Evans, the tackle they got out of Oklahoma. He said that he mentioned Zach Cromer, the offensive quality control guy for the Rams, which is Aaron Cromer's son. It's his third year in, I think, for the Rams, working for the Rams. But before that, he went to school. He went to college at Oklahoma and was like a student assistant coach or student assistant at Oklahoma. Bobby Evans went to Oklahoma, and Aaron Cromer referenced that. Like, we have been doing our research on Bobby Evans, and we're very familiar with Evans and Oklahoma because of Zach Cromer's time at Oklahoma, and now he's with the Rams. So, like, these relationships, they're not like official meetings maybe, but like Zach Cromer and then now Aaron Cromer and the rest of the Rams have kind of an inside scoop and inside sources at Oklahoma on their players. So those are like all little cool little deals that go into it. The safety we got with our first pick looks really promising too, man. I'll tell you this. Did anyone here watch the Rose Bowl, the Ohio State-Washington game? So first of all, Washington was the best team in the Pac-12, okay? When they played in the Rose Bowl against Ohio State, they looked pretty terrible. And the reason why they were terrible, and honestly, I didn't know everything about Washington. I wasn't an expert. But the commentators kept talking about Taylor Rapp. And Taylor Rapp was injured, but he'd suited up, but he really didn't play. And they're talking about, man, if Taylor Rapp was full strength. The whole thing about like why Washington started off poorly in that game and didn't play well was because Taylor Rapp really wasn't playing. I was like, who's this Taylor Rapp? Like, I was like, man, this guy's like a All-American. The way they're making him sound, like this safety has such an impact on this game and why the Huskies aren't doing well. So, and when they talk about him, and this is the thing that I think everyone gets caught up in the measurables and the 40 time and the broad jump. So Taylor Rapp was still a little injured from that injury in the Rose Bowl when he had the combine and the pro day. And so he didn't run a great 40 time. And that if his 40 time was on par with all the other top safeties, he would have been a first rounder, no doubt. But when Les Snead and McVay are talking about Taylor Rapp, they're like, his game speed is unquestionable. Yeah, like how often does a safety just run 40 yards in a straight line? Like who does that, right? Like maybe a running back when they break through the hole and, then they have like the whole rest of the field, but that doesn't happen that often. But how's your game speed? How fast are you? Like how are your instincts? So those are a lot of things that aren't totally measured. And like Taylor Rapp's like was a first round pick in their eyes. And he's, forget the combine stuff. And the same with Greg Gaines out of Washington, the defensive tackle they took. So the measurables weren't great on him. He has like short arms or whatever, but you look at him and you look at the production and you can't question that. It's like you watch a guy play You watch film on them, you watch them live, you talk to people, and like, yeah, that guy's a difference maker. And then they go to the combine or pro day or whatever, and they're like, oh, he didn't run a great 40, and it's just like, okay, well, we're gonna bump him down. It's like, why would you do that? He's not a track athlete; he's a football player. So, all right, tangents. The safety we got looks promising. Rick, did they have 5 running backs last year? But yes, all draft good choices. Did the Rams have 5 running backs last year? They wish his knees was bad. No, I hope Todd Gurley's knees are good. Our new running back will get better at catching for sure. Yeah. Hey, Ramley, how you feeling? We run Cali. Are you happy about the picks? I'm stoked. This is great. I really liked what they did. Okay, so real quickly, guys, we've got the Rams pick coming up here in a couple picks. So it's Dallas, Chargers, Rams. Then we can get back to this. So like we got Rams coming up at 243. I mean, I really haven't been right about a lot of these picks. So why would I start being right now? But I feel like potentially either interior offensive line, defensive end. Well, I mean, why not everyone? But I really am thinking linebacker, inside linebacker. Yeah, Micah Kaiser and Corey Littleton, and I think Trayvon Young. But I think inside linebacker, and we still got a couple good ones on the board. Well, I think I have to check. I think Tavon Coney is available, and Terrell Hanks. Sorry. I think they're both available. I also have a feeling that the Chargers are real assholes in this draft, and they're like snaking everybody ahead of the Rams. They got what's his name? Jerry Tillery. And they got another play, I want to say a tackle or a center or guard. Yeah, Tavon Coney out of Notre Dame, linebacker. Terrell Hanks, linebacker out of New Mexico State. And then in terms of – and then Bo Benchvavel out of he's a guard out of Wisconsin. Tyree Jackson, if they want to go with a developmental quarterback out of Buffalo. Kind of crazy, he hasn't been picked yet. Gerald Willis out of a tackle out of Miami. But there's, I want to say, some guys in the secondary, like cornerbacks, that so Blace Brown, Mark Fields, Derek Beatty Jr. are all guys in the secondary and the cornerbacks that they could potentially take. And all for safeties, anyone else? I mean, I know they just picked the safety, but yeah, no one that really comes to mind. But I mean, they'll probably take someone that I had no idea that they would be taking. Mack Wilson? No, Mack Wilson is not still available. He was taken in either the 5th or 6th round. Yeah, Chargers are whack. I totally agree. Like, I'm becoming more and more annoyed with the Chargers. Before it was like, as a Laker fan, it's like, Clippers, whatever, And then you're like, oh, Clippers are pretty scrappy, but like, come on, let's just be real here. So Chargers are on the clock now. So let's go. I would like to see Tavon Coney, Terrell Hanks. Either one of those guys at linebacker, or even do you guys know is Sione Taki? Has he been taken out of BYU? I'm not quite sure. Yeah, so I think a linebacker, and I mean, even if they took a developmental quarterback, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know from a wide receiver perspective if there's anyone interesting enough to take in the 7th round. I mean, there's a guy named Jazz Ferguson. I mean, that's kind of a cool name, Jazz. There's a guy from Texas, and this is his name. I'm not kidding. Lil apostrophe Jordan, and his last name is Humphrey. His real name is Lil Jordan Humphrey. And it's not like a rapper made up like Lil Wayne, all the Lils. His real name is Lil Jordan Humphrey. Must have been a big Jordan in the family. Taki's taken. Henry Ford. Henry Ford? Holy shit. Everyone, Henry Ford, the Henry Ford, is watching Rams Talk. Henry Ford, this is an honor. I'm sorry. You probably get that all the time. That's an iconic name you have. Come on, Charger selection. Let's do this already. So the Rams are picking at 243. And then, hey, what's up, Brotnick? You working, Brotnick? Hey, Brotnick, did I ask you what your real name is? Or is your real name Borotnik? I don't know. So, not here is Rick. Cortez Broughton. Okay, good. So they did not take anyone. Manuel. Awesome, Manuel. Nice to formally meet you. So Rick, Manuel. Brotnick, Manuel, what do you think? Who do you think the Rams should do right now? Anyone? Open end right here. Who should the Rams take? What position? Well, hey, Manuel, you woke up, linebacker, you woke up at the right time because the Rams are about to pick. The selection, is it just me or every time on ESPN when the Rams selection comes in, it's commercial? Nick Scott, safety, Penn State. Like, why you guys even listen to me? I had no, Nick Scott, he was an honorable mention, all Big Ten, as opposed to a dishonorable mention. So we got another safety. So what's up, Calvin? Yeah, I guess we have one more chance for a linebacker at the what is the last pick? I want to say it's 249. No, the last pick is 251. So we're about 8 picks away from the last pick. Cameron Smith. Is Cameron Smith still available? The Miami defensive tackle, yeah, he's still there. Gamer Pro, OMG. What's up, Gamer Pro, OMG? Porter Gustin, John Kelly, Justin Davis, Brown. So I have a feeling Justin Davis's time is up. He just can't stay healthy. He always gets injured in the preseason too. That sucks. Cameron Smith is gone. Yeah, so Rick, CJ Anderson's gone. I think Justin Davis is gone. So, yeah, more tears. So we got Gurley, Malcolm Brown, John Kelly, Darrell Henderson. So we got those 4. I feel John Kelly's odd man out there. Yeah, what linebackers are left? So Tevon Coney, Terrell Hanks are the real guys. Yeah, Kelly could go to the practice squad. I don't think he's a special teams guy. They could. Or I feel like maybe linebackers, they really go the undrafted free agent route, Get a couple guys to come in because they always sign 5 to 10 guys right after the draft. So, and I think that's someone commented on one of my recent videos about how his cousin played football, college football, was met with the Rams, had a really good interview, and then wasn't drafted by the Rams, but then they called him right after the draft and offered him one of those contracts. So so that could be what happens with all these guys. But there's a couple guys. This just goes to show all the mock drafts and all the big boards and all these things really don't mean anything, because it's just what a bunch of prognosticators think and who they think should be taken. But they don't have an army of scouts across the nation like the Rams. So the Rams have I think they break it up into regional, west, south, north, and east. Regional scouts or area scouts. So there would be a scout, maybe a couple guys or a team dedicated to just a region. So more or less your conferences. So guys that just are covering Pac-12 and, maybe Mountain West, and then guys doing Big 10, Big 12, guys doing ACC, some, like kind of clumping it like that. So yeah, where Polite went to the Jets. I remember that. I have a couple Jets buddies, and I was trying to tell them, like, hey, you got a good player in Polite. Malik Reed, edge of Nevada. There's a guy. So think of it like this, and I'm going to post this on Twitter because it's hard I can't really post images on YouTube, but or if you go to therams.com and you watch all like the little video clips in their video library of the draft, like all of them. There's one that I think is from the NFL Network when Greg Gaines was drafted, and they're talking about him, and they flashed a graphic on the screen, and it basically laid out the defensive line, including the edge, and it looked pretty awesome. So basically just went like Clay Matthews, Aaron Donald, Greg Gaines, Michael Brockers, Dante Fowler. And you think about like those 5 dudes now, like that's a freaking straight line right there of really good players. He is a beast. So that guy, Greg Gaines, the defensive tackle of Washington, he won, I think it's called the McMorris Trophy for best defensive lineman in the Pac-12. The cool thing about the McMorris Trophy is that is voted on by all the other players in the Pac-12, like the competitors. So basically, it probably was like offensive linemen or whoever voted on like who was the best defensive lineman that they faced in the conference for a year, and it was Greg Gaines of Washington. And listening to the defensive line coach for the Rams, he basically was talking about like, yeah, he's taking in Ndamukong Suh's spot. He can play the 3 technique or the nose, and essentially he's going to be taking on 2 defenders and trying to split them to stop the runs. So Greg Gaines is our new run stopper. And a Pasadena guy, yeah, you're right. He talked about coming home. So I think he's stoked. I think this is great. You think we should move Clay to inside and have Obo play outside? Preston. Hey, what's up, Preston? Yeah, I mean, I think one of the reasons why Clay Matthews is such a good addition is his versatility. I mean, they've even talked about how he can line up inside or outside depending. I mean, he played inside linebacker almost exclusively for a year in Green Bay one year. So I'm really interested to see, like, to me, Obo, Micah, Kaiser, and then Noteboom and Allen, like those 4 guys, really interested to see what they do. Henderson with Gurley on some snaps when they run jet sweep. Yeah, Henderson is a very fast and catch the ball like wide receiver. Totally, William. Like, he's just another weapon. And I kind of felt like the Rams, when CJ and Todd were together, I feel like they didn't use them. I mean, in the Dallas game, it's hard to argue with what they did because both guys like just ran crazy. But like, I thought it was like, hey, put both guys in the backfield, split one guy out wide. So now you have someone covering Gurley out wide. You have Anderson in the backfield. So Gurley's taking a linebacker out wide. So like, you just like chess matching with the defense with these guys. I mean, they have to respect the speed on the field. Wade will work his magic, Manuel, totally. Hey, what's up, AMS? Or is it just AMS? Yeah, Les Snead. I mean, tip of the cap to Les Snead. Going back to Bobby Evans and David Edwards. I don't think I mentioned David Edwards out of Nebraska, but when Aaron Cromer was interviewed both times for each pick, he basically said, if you come to the Rams and you're a tackle or a guard, but pretty much a tackle, you have to learn how to play, or they get someone they know can learn or already has experience in playing tackle on both sides and guard on both sides. So when they draft a tackle, a left tackle or a right tackle, they're drafting a tackle for both sides and guard positions as well. And that's why Noteboom is slotting into left guard where Saffold was. If they get a center, that center has to be able to play guard on both sides. If they get a guard, the guard has to be able to play center. and potentially tackle. So like the versatility, they pick guys with versatility in mind so that they can be super flexible. Oh, the last pick, like our last pick in the 7th, or the last pick that we had before the guy from Penn State, the safety, Edwards. What's up, Bob Money? Is this a San Francisco fan in the house here? Everyone be kind. Be kind to Bob Money. Okay? Hey, Bob Money. Your defensive line looks pretty tight this year, I have to say. Do you think Jimmy Garoppolo will win more than 5 games this year? Sorry, Bob Money, it's hard. I despise the Niners so bad. I'm trying so hard. Dennis, I see what you're doing there. Hey, I'm trying to be cool. So my whole approach is on my chat on the Rams talk is to just like be a good host. Be a good host. Like, because I have friends that are Niner fans, and it's just all in good fun. It's all good, yeah. I'm just hoping that the Rams and Niners, like it turns into like a legit rivalry now. Like I hope both like the Niners reach a level to where like they can bring it and we can have some really good like games like we did back in the day. Okay, so William Thomas was, yeah, good luck to you, but actually not good luck, Bob Money. I mean, I was bummed when Jimmy G tore his ACL because I was like, man, now we're going to have to hear Niner fans saying like, well, if Jimmy G was healthy. It's like, oh, come on. But, yeah, honestly, I never want to see a player get injured. So, I mean, but with Bosa and D Ford and Buckner on that line, that's going to be that's a tough line right there. So, I mean, I have no illusions like that. I'll give credit to the 49ers. And they're not going to be a pushover if they stay healthy. But the NFC West is ours for the next 10 years at least. See, thank you, William. I agree. Yeah, so the last pick left, and that's the pick that William was referring to. So that last pick left is coming up in 5, 47, 48, 49, 5 picks, I think. So, yeah, I mean, that will be a steal. It's crazy. It's crazy like how much – the truth of the matter is that safety we just got and whoever we pick now will most likely – they'll be battling for a roster spot and most likely will be a special teams player for a year, right? So because, I mean, Micah Kaiser got like nothing. He had very little playing time, and he was a 5th rounder last year, I think. I can't remember. What's up, Benjamin? Yeah, and I mean the fact they got a good running back is like that's and it'd be one thing if they spent like one of their 6th round picks on a running back. You're like, okay, that's why are you doing that? But I mean, this guy was arguably the best running back in the draft. So I mean, it's kind of crazy. Rams got like the best running back in the draft. You know, I guess you could say maybe he was or wasn't. Yeah, focus on staying healthy for once. The Niners, yeah, the Niners need a new trainer. Yeah, all the players from this draft is for the future moving forward and can contribute now. So we good. Yeah, I mean, and that's the whole thing. Like you think about Jared Goff, they picked up that 5th-year option. That's a lot of money now. I mean, it's not Jimmy Garoppolo money, that well-earned Jimmy Garoppolo money. I think Jimmy Garoppolo, he makes $27.5 million a year. So, and he has 10 career wins. So if you just paid him like per win, it's like 2.7 mil for every win he's had in his career. You're right though. So they drafted last year for this year. So like Noteboom, Allen, Kaiser, Obo, Jonathan Franklin Myers, though, he had a pretty decent impact. He had that key fumble sack on Kirk Cousins last year. Who else am I missing from last year that they got? Anyone offensively? No. But they're all going to play this year. And then this year they draft guys so like Taylor Rapp, David Long. I think those guys will rotate in, but I think of it more or less like next year, the following year, you could potentially. I feel like they might re-sign Marcus Peters if he doesn't just, crap the bed. So you could have potentially Peters, Long, Nikel Roby Coleman as your like primary DBs, and then you have Rapp and JJ. I mean, that's a solid secondary. No offense, but you guys might have Super Bowl hangover. No, I feel like no offense taken, and I have no idea about Ted Rath. Honestly, I think they're just letting that play out, but I haven't heard any updates. I feel like the Rams don't really have a hangover because they're still so young, and I think their heads are on right, and they just have so much talent. The thing about McVay is like his charisma is so infectious. A lot of people, they want to get a lot of people like from the McVay tree, Zach Taylor, LaFleur, all these guys. Like, there's a difference between being an offensive genius and mastermind like McVay and maybe some of his disciples. It's another thing to command a locker room of men and really get these guys like Blake Bortles, Eric Weddle, Clay Matthews. I mean, I know Clay Matthews wanted to come back here because he's from here, but like these guys are like, just give me to the Rams. Because Sean McVay, it looks like they're a tight locker room. They're having fun. Like McVay is a coach they want to play for. So I think like they're going to keep things like juiced up. So I don't think they're going to have a hangover at all. I think hopefully it was a learning experience, and especially for McVay. But remember, if Goff don't pan out, Blake may be the one to take over. Blake is damn good, and we will all know what McVay can do with QBs. Okay, William Thomas, I'm going to pretend you didn't say that. Did you just say Blake is damn good? Blake, okay, I will say this. Blake Bortles is probably in the top 5 of backup QBs in football, no doubt. But I don't think he was ever better than like a top like 18 to 30 quarterback in the league. And granted, he was on Jacksonville. So like, what can you do on Jacksonville? He had Allen Robinson for a year or two, but didn't really have much of anything. And I mean, he did take a team to the AFC East or the AFC Championship game 2 years ago against the Patriots. And I'll tell you this, like, I feel like McVay will be able to do, like, you plug Blake Bortles into the Rams with that offensive line, the running back, the receivers, the scheme, all of that, he will be better than he's ever been. But I feel Jared Goff is just a naturally better quarterback. The one thing Blake Bortles really hasn't shown is like some of his decision making has been pretty terrible. Like, you see some of those interceptions, you're like, whoa, yikes, Bortles. Yeah, he's like I say, Teddy Bridgewater's a great backup. I really don't know how to have the landscape for other backups, but I mean, he's a great back. Here's the thing about Blake Bortles: if Goff had to miss a game or two, I would feel okay with Bortles being the quarterback. If it was Mannion, I'd be like, oh Christ, our running backs are going to like get 80 carries this game because he can't throw the ball. I mean, Mannion couldn't even do well in the preseason. Mechanical footwork. Okay, like yeah, Bortles is good. Don't get me wrong. Like, but I don't think he's McVay. Or sorry, Goff. Goff made 2 Pro Bowls. Yeah, damn good at interceptions. Why are answering this clown? Are you talking about William? William is not a clown. Are you talking about Bob Money? 49er, William is good. William Thomas is good stuff. Okay? I think maybe he has some Blake Bortles stock. We're just messing with you, William. It's all good, man. Like, I think Blake Bortles was the biggest addition in the offseason. Like, no doubt. Because like last year, honestly, if anything happened to Goff, the Rams were screwed. But now that they have Blake Bortles, I'm like, he can manage for a while. And like that's all you need out of your backup. Yeah, I think he will restore his game, no doubt. And I think that's why Bortles wanted to come to LA. He's like, get my career back, please. I need someone to help me get my career back. Our new running back ran the Wildcat. Do you think McVay will run the Wildcat with Henderson? I think we might see a couple formations. I think the league kind of caught on to what the Rams are doing last year with 11 personnel, especially in that Detroit game. And that was the template that Belichick used. So I think the Rams are the Rams is the pick in. Okay, guys, let's just stop what we're doing. That Taylor Rapp kid is good, James Hill, by the way. Luis Perez, what's up, man? Mannion was garbage. And I would say he would be hot garbage. See, look at this. ESPN, yeah, we're back on commercial again when the Rams pick is in. I swear, every time. It's commercial. No love. William Thomas, third generation Rams fan, so name calling don't bother me. It's football and people going to be juiced and say things. Hey, William, I'm glad you're juiced. Bring your juiced self to Rams talk. Third generation, that's cool. My son is a third generation, so there you go. I just don't think Bortles is as good as Goff, but I feel like Bortles. I mean, and who knows? Maybe he doesn't even get any reps in the regular season if Goff stays healthy, right? So, like, if anything, he just gets to be in the building and learn and progress. But I don't know how much tape you'll get unless something happens to Goff and he goes into a game. Man, that's awesome. Grandpa, Dad, and you. That's good stuff. That's what it's all about. Calvin Gibson on the NFL Network. They're not on commercials. Damn. I don't have the NFL Network. Dakota Allen, inside linebacker, Texas Tech. Didn't see that coming. Let's see here. Dakota Allen. I'm going to see if the Rams met with him and had a preseason meeting. By the way, did you guys see that the Cowboys took Michael Jackson and Joe Jackson in back-to-back picks? I mean, you couldn't make that up. It's pretty hilarious. Okay, let's see here. Did they work out Dakota Allen as an inside linebacker? Sourcing, hold on, sourcing. Nope. Nope, they didn't. But they did get their linebacker. So there you go. I don't know, Dennis. Honestly, the Jackson 5, yeah, that is like I was Jermaine and Tito there. Yep, that is our very last pick, Henry Ford. The Rams are done. Unless they trade a 7th from next year to get into the 7th of this year. Wow, that's so crazy. Like, guys I thought would be drafted in like the 4th or 5th round potentially are going undrafted. Like, that's nuts to me. Let's see here. Nick Scott they got. Yeah. Dakota Allen. Here's the pre-draft analysis on Dakota Allen. He's an undersized linebacker. He went to Texas Tech, by the way, with short arms and slightly below average timed speed. He's an instinctive run defender who tracks the ball well. He chases with great effort and makes plays in pursuit, even though he doesn't have great closing speed. He's tough and never stops working. That means he has a great motor, but takes too long to get off blocks and gives ground at times. He's more effective dropping into zone than he is matching up in man. Ladies and gentlemen, Dakota Allen, inside linebacker. The Rams, 6'1", 232 pounds. He was the 12th rated inside linebacker and 207th overall rated prospect with a grade of 54. Okay. Yeah, Calvin, I think we drafted very well as well. I think, yeah. Yeah, Lewis, I totally agree. I think this draft went probably better than I thought. because the way Les worked it and traded back, I mean, essentially he probably realized that the guy that they wanted with their first pick, Taylor Rapp, would be there when he was there. So they were able to like move back and make that happen. We needed more 6th rounders this year. Yeah. How many did they have? 3? Yeah. 2nd rounders. I wish we had a lot of 2nd rounders. That would have been great. Just for depth. Yeah, it's for depth totally, and also for a year from now starters. Because when you think about it, they need to, Dakota Allen, charged with 2nd-degree burglary, transferred to East Mississippi Community College, documented on Netflix. He was on Last Chance U on Netflix. He returned to Texas Tech in 2017. So he was expelled from Texas Tech for burglary. He transferred to East Mississippi Community College. Then he returned to Texas Tech, elected team captain, and then last year was first team All Big 12 as a inside linebacker. So, now they're showing highlights on ESPN of Dakota Allen. Yeah, he's diagnosing the play. He's making some good reads. Yeah. Nice. Okay. I mean, when I see a guy like that right now, I'm just like, yeah, he's going to start special teams. Maybe rotate in here and there. Yeah, Dakota Allen. Hey, how stoked is Dakota Allen? Okay, so Taylor Rapp, Darrell Henderson. Okay, they're talking about it. Bobby Evans, Greg Gaines. See what Trey Wingo says. Boo this man. Sorry, listening to Louis Riddick. Okay. All right, there you go. Yeah, like I said, go to the Rams.com and check out their check out all the videos. You'll like the press conference that Snead and McVay have today will really be cool and revealing in it. And I think what the drafts really do is coming into this draft, we're sitting here thinking like this is the state of the Rams. Like we really know. Like they need this, they need that, or what are they going to do? Are they going to go offensive line for this? Or do they believe in Allen? Do they believe in Noteboom? Are they going to draft for depth this year to have starters next year in the secondary? I thought they were going to go, if they stayed at 31, they were going to get a defensive lineman because I felt like that was the hole that they needed to fill the most with the departure of Ndamukong Suh. But they went and got that guy in, I don't know what, the 4th round or 6th round, 4th round, to Greg Gaines. So they got their start on the defensive line in the 4th round. So the Rams, by doing this, the picks that they had in this draft tells us all what the guys in the building, in the Rams building, think about this team and where they want this team to go. So basically what they're saying is we need depth at the offensive line because we don't really have anyone. And by getting 2 tackles, they're essentially getting 2 tackles that could play both positions or guard positions if needed. Also, one of those guys can slot into tackle next year when Whitworth retires, or Noteboom would pop out to tackle one of those guys as guard. So there's that. What if Austin Blythe, whatever magic juice he was drinking under Cromer, like that wears off and he turns back into practice squad, cut from roster Austin Blythe. You need someone to plug in there. So, hey, thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yeah, 44 minutes in. I'm stoked that I got a bunch of people here all hanging out. 2 tackles. Yeah, so Rick, the 2 tackles, essentially what Cromer says is he wants the tackles to also play guard, like have the versatility to play guard. So they're basically, oh wow, Ryan Suckup, Mr. Irrelevant from 2 years ago, or from 2009. So he's announcing the very last pick. That's funny. So basically the Rams needed depth at offensive line, but nothing pressing but depth. So they're getting their depth now for potential starters on the road. They get second. They build up their secondary, which they're planning down the road of potentially Peters, Talib, and Weddle not being back. So they got 2 safeties and a cornerback. So there's that. And then defensive line, Sue left, so they needed a guy on the tackle spot. They get that. Running back, they wanted a weapon, maybe kind of take the workload off of Todd Gurley. They get that. So, honestly, I think they're pretty set. And, you look at teams like look at the Patriots. How many guys on the Patriots are household name, flashy, all-pro guys? Not that many. They just always draft well. They develop, and they just have this foundation. There's a couple teams that are just always kind of good because they just have the flow, the veterans teaching the young guys. They know how to draft. They know how to work the draft. Those guys come up, and they just keep it going. They just keep it going and keep replenishing, and they have a system in place. And I feel like that's what they're doing now is they just have a system in place, and it's working. I mean, all these guys have to Peters or Talib on Metcalf. Oof, yeah. Something about Metcalf makes me think that I think they'll probably play zone. Man, is Metcalf on Seattle? Because then you have Metcalf and Lockett. God damn, my son crying during his nap again. Well, guys, anyways, so I'm going to cut this short. I'm going to take off right now. Got to handle some business. But thank you so much for stopping by, checking out the live stream. Go Rams. I'm going to be posting a video probably tomorrow or early next week with more of an in-depth analysis on these picks. But also, like I said, go to therams.com and check it out and watch the videos and get a bunch of context. Yeah, go Rams, James, Rick. Thank you so much. Henry, Dave, Bug, Calvin, Luis, Dennis, William, anyone that I forgot, AMS, we run Cali. Did I say Dennis? Even Bob Money. Hey, thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the Battle of Winterfell tomorrow night. I don't know about you guys, but that now I'm okay, the draft is great. Now I'm moving to Game of Thrones. So anyways, thanks for watching. And as always, guys, go Rams.